Hi everybody, Curtis here from Goth Rider Creations, and in today's episode I'm going to my first guitar show. Stay tuned. So here we are at the Brighton racecourse for the first Brighton guitar show. Mrs. Goth Rider was very sweet to get me tickets for our anniversary, so thank you for that. Footage is a little bit shaky, do apologise. Not used the right settings on my phone. But first of all, we'll jump straight into this guitar, which I really did like. I love the satin finish, the black. This guy had a real penchant for having the sort of very angular pick guards. It just screamed sort of Art Deco to me, which I absolutely loved. The shapes were very contemporary as well, but quite classic. I thought it was really good showings. I also like the staggered fret dots, so yeah. That bridge that you've got there with it all recessed in but still with the tremolo, I thought was very cool. I'd not seen anything like that before. I couldn't recognise the designs of some of these guitars. I'm assuming they're quite old school shapes, but very interesting looking. And you can't stop without the Randy Rhodes. Yeah, I'm a heavy metal sucker, so yeah, love that. Yeah, LPs for days. Did love the sparkly one there. That's very, very cool. What I was really surprised was some of the prices they were showing on some of these. You've got a lot of, I believe D-Gent is what they call them, the multi-scale 7-string, 8-string, 5-string or 6-string basses with the active pickups. £570 for a very, you know, bespoke looking, heavy metal looking guitar. Some of these fan frets were going for £300–400, which I thought was absolutely amazing. If I'd had any money, I would have bought. And that acoustic there with the odd shaped hole, that was going for £180, which was amazing. Now this guy's guitars I really liked. It had a very kind of old school surfer kind of look to it. I don't know the terminology, but the thing that really stood out for me was the old school style bridges, you know, the very sort of simple square inlays, but the massive pickup covers. The pickup covers are absolutely industrial, like that one there. And I said to him, I was like, how, where, how? And he said that basically he gets them custom made. They're based on old school bass pickup covers, and then he puts gold foils in them to give a real classic sound, which I thought was very, very cool. Next exhibitor, this guy, I'm just going to show you a couple of the bass ones, and then the spalted wood on that was beautiful. Really nice classic looking bass. He did have some really nice timbers, and you could see he really wanted to just let the timber shout. You know, it's that front slightly stained, the 5-string behind that white one, behind the white telly. Yeah, he basically, it was almost unfinished in a way. It was base sanded, a light stain, carved around the edge to show the clean wood. Beautiful guitars. Oh, and the camo, I couldn't help myself. And again with the flat bridge tremolo system, I've never seen anything like that. Please let me know if someone knows if that's an old school thing or if that's a new school thing, but I did think that looked really interesting. But the one thing I did love, and I didn't show much, was those inlays. Literally just fine lines set in. That looked really classy. Then we've got the shapes on these guitars I absolutely loved. It was really interesting takes on sort of the single cutaway styles. I did quite like those, and the shape of that one on the left was very, very cool. These ones I really like. That one in the middle with the sliders rather than dials, I really dig that. I think that's a very interesting look. I might experiment with that in the future. And then we've got the Chapman stand, and you've got to go to the Chapman stand because, you know, I'm heavy metal and I do it on a budget, and you don't get any better than Chapman for that, to be honest with you. I know there are other manufacturers and stuff, but these are the ones I've always looked at and gone, I could just about afford that if I was going to buy a guitar. And I do love the deep chunky metal flake on that silver one, and then the matte black behind it as well. Oh, very, very nice, very much my kind of thing. Then we have this one, and these I really liked, the kind of multi-piece, multi-coloured pick guards on there. Again, very old school traditional kind of hardware on there with the bridge and then the additional bits underneath. It was sort of screaming sort of like old school 1920s kind of style to it. I thought that was really, really interesting, and did some really nice relic work on those as well. Then we have the custom pick guards, and I generally don't worry too much about hardware side of things, but I did love the different finishes, the different antiquing options, brass, aluminium, very, very cool stuff. I was quite impressed with their selection. And this guy, they look like quite sort of simple, standard styles, but the levels of relicking that he's gone to really stand these ones out, I really, I quite dug that. I'm not a massive relic fan, but yeah, he does some very interesting work with those. I quite like those. And yeah, that one, yeah, I love the matte black, but the gold foils on that one were very cool. Then we came to nearly my favourite and my wife's definite favourite. These are very, very interesting. All carbon, well no, actually not carbon fibre, they are carbon fibre and titanium composite. Two-piece moulds, I believe he said. They were just moulded guitars, whole thing carbon composite. Very, very interesting, and that Galaxy metal flake is just stunning. Absolutely beautiful. And again with the finishing on that one with the multi-fret, very, very cool, very interesting guitars. One day I'll get into some of the composite side of things myself. Union Jack, very cool. Quite interesting stuff. They seem to be more prints on these ones rather than finishes, but still quite interesting. Then we come to the first of the GGBO contestants, Devil and Sons. I did see him floating around. I didn't get a chance to talk to him, but you just see on the left there the iPad guitar he did last year, so it's pretty cool to see those in the flesh. A few custom pickup manufacturers and neck makers, not as many as I'd hoped, but yeah, quite a few there. And then we have the other GGBO entry, Mr. Chris Franklyn. I did get to say hello, and there you go, there's the shaky shot of his face to prove I did actually meet the man. And yeah, it was quite nice to actually see his guitars in the flesh, having watched his channel and watching him make them. So it's quite nice to let YouTube come out to reality, which was quite nice. And it was quite sweet him telling me that I should try and get myself as an exhibitor next year. I don't think he was being serious, but it was a nice thought. Then we came to these guys, and I really love this purple one with just so many dials. It was absolutely beautiful. And yeah, the colouring and the fade on that was very nice. Understated fretboard on that one, very cool. These were some really nice old school style ones. I quite dug those. Again, you know, there's some interesting takes on some of the shapes, sort of old school shapes with sort of new school twists. Now this one I really, really liked. The timber on it was absolutely stunning. Chatted to this guy for quite a while about the issues with actually making the bodies, but that is really simple, really classy looking. A really nice young man as well. It was great to have a chat with him about, you know, all the various bits on the building side of things. Really, really beautiful, and I love the neck, the contrast of the dark neck. You could just see the pinstriping where he actually did inlays after he did the scarf joint to then give it that kind of extra texture for the back of the neck for the volume, which was very, very cool. And bass that he was working on there as well. It's, yeah, it's very, very nice stuff. Another interesting semi-hollows there. There was quite a few sort of interesting takes with sort of different sound holes, different configurations. There was, yeah, some very, very cool stuff out there. Then we come to what has to be my favourite, I have to admit. These guitars are gorgeous. Single cutaway, slightly modern shape to them. I also love the fact that they've gone different colour hardwares for each one, but still sticking with the silver and gold on the bridges, silver bridge, gold saddles. I really, really like this. Custom pickups, custom inlays, different burls on each guitar, different hardware choices, different inlays, but my favourite was this one here. This was, I believe, it's a U burl, then filled with black resin. That looked absolutely stunning. It looks like chaos. I absolutely love that one. Yeah, I think I spent quite a while bending these guys' ears trying to find out every little secret about how they made their guitars, so it's very, very cool. And in a second we will pull to the left. Sorry, it's me gassing away to these guys. And then you'll see the other one that really struck it for me was the carbon topped. Now, I think more people should be doing this with the price of timbers at the moment. Just a really nice clean gloss carbon fibre top to it. That looked really classy for me. I really, really like that. Kind of elevating the telly to a really modern take. I absolutely fell in love with those two guitars. If I could have taken them home, I would have. Then this guy had some really nice choices of colours. I'm not a massive fan of with wood on wood on wood on wood, but that flying V, that if it had fitted in my pocket, it would have done so. That is really, really nice. And yeah, some of the figuring on that wood is absolutely stunning. Yeah, very, very beautiful guitars. And then we had another one. This is again wood on wood, but some really nice sort of classic styles there, really nice wood choices. Yeah, it's very, very good workmanship. I didn't see any guitars I thought were in any way slapdash or hurriedly made. Everything looked really exquisite, really top notch. I was very, very impressed. Which is not easy to film with so many people milling around. Everyone was trying to snatch guitars and play them. Now this was another 3 guitars I really found very interesting. None of them were overly finished. They were quite rough and ready, but they were deliberately done. You can see the axe marks in the bottom one there. You can see the stitch work with the brass and the very steampunk style to it. You've got the alien head one there. These were very fun guitars and very cool looking. You had kind of that almost reverse LP. But yeah, the finishes on these were very cool because you could see big gouges, big chunks taken out of them deliberately, and then just very subtly finished. I really enjoyed those. There was contrast from all of the blingy, well, as you can see, very clean guitars, so that was an interesting take. I did love the different choices in the pickguard materials as well. People had obviously gone all out, not just the standard white on black on white. That fabric top guitar looked quite cool as well. I did dig that. And yeah, you've got to love a river guitar, and that purple did look very, very cool. That was one of the ones Mrs. Goth Rider wanted to take home with her, definitely. So yeah, it's an amazing selection. I was more than slightly impressed. And then we come to the final exhibitor, and these were very cool. Very interesting shapes. I do love the staggered body tops. It was very, very interesting, especially that top one. You can just see the kind of twisted to the side, headless options. Did love all of the craziness, the big pickguard cover, very, very cool, very interesting options, and the kind of almost psychedelic stain work on the bodies. Yeah, that was very, very cool. So yeah, that was my first ever guitar show. It was very cool, very enjoyable. I'm glad it was local, because everyone was so lovely. All of the exhibitors, as soon as they saw me interested in one guitar, they were literally just picking it off the stand and thrusting it at me, going, "Go on, play it, see if you like it." And I'm like, "I can't play." And they all looked at me like I had three heads and was like, "What are you doing in a guitar show if you can't play a guitar?" But everyone was lovely, everyone was very accommodating. They didn't mind me grilling them on pickup options and little bits and pieces about how they actually made them, which was really sweet. Yeah, as I say, managed to have a chat with Chris Franklyn, which was really cool. But yeah, no, it was a really good day. Not being a guitarist myself, you know, there are probably many things out there that I've missed over the years, because it's only in the last few years I've had an interest in guitars. So seeing all these different styles, different hardware options, I was like a kid in a candy store. If anything, I'm going to keep hold of that footage for a while and just reference back to that for future projects, because it just absolutely blew my mind. But no, really enjoyable. To the guys at the Brighton Guitar Show, very awesome day. It was very well laid out. I was also really impressed. Me and my wife had just missed it, but when we arrived, there was some guy walking around with a loud air horn, and I thought, bloody hell, what are you playing at? And that was the signal to say that the quiet time had finished. So for the first, I believe, hour or the first hour and a half, no one was playing any guitars, no amps were turned on, and then that way people who didn't want to be barraged with all the noise, or anyone with sensory issues, could actually walk through and enjoy the show. And I thought that was a really classy touch, so that was very well played, everyone. I didn't go, they had a whole extra exhibition side for the effects pedals. I didn't bother because, as I say, I'm not a player, so effects pedals really don't mean much to me. So yeah, it's probably a whole side that I probably should have looked at, but it is not my thing. I stick with the guitars. Maybe next year, get more time. But yeah, so I hope you don't mind me waffling on at you, but yeah, it was quite enjoyable. It was a really good day out, and now I've got far too many ideas for other projects. So yeah, I think that will do. As you might be able to tell, I've been tidying, so everything is clear, everything is sorted, so next week I can actually start getting on with this thing and hopefully get this GGBO a little bit further along. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me as always. Please like, please subscribe if you haven't already. Throw us a comment, let us know what you thought of all of the lovely guitars, and I shall see you on the next one. Take care.